Alberta is beautiful. Its roads lead you to some of the most stunning landscapes on Earth. But as you drive to these locations, you will always come across oil wells. There's so many of them that Alberta doesn't even have an accurate inventory of them. They may seem harmless as you drive by them, but there's more to them than the eye can see.
We live here on the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains. The farm has been in the family since 1908, so 3 years after Alberta was a province. The oil wells have been here longer than I've been alive. They seem part of the natural environment. We would have 12 different leases with different companies. Some of the wells are still active, some of the wells are inactive, some are just compressor sites. The last oil well we've had was signed up in about 2012. But as we know, in Alberta, the mineral rights belong to the Crown. So if the Crown wants a company to get their oil, they're going to get it. You can negotiate the rental agreement, the price, but you have to be firm with them and you have to be willing to stand your ground when they don't want to pay you what your land is worth. It has been a steady source of income for the family since the 50s. Well, that income has all gone to my parents, and as they're both sick right now, that income is going to help them in their retirement to pay for their caregivers. Occasionally we have an oil spill. So you call the oil company, they send someone to clean it up. Now with the technology that's 24-hour monitoring of the wells, they know about it before you do. But I know the rules are set up in such a way that a company can sell off their inactive wells to a shell company and let the shell company go broke, and then it becomes the government's problem.
The oil wells were on the land when we purchased the land. When we bought them, there was one company that had all 3 wells, and every year they would send us an oil lease check. The first 2 were put in the 70s, around COVID. The company that had them went into receivership. Another company came in and purchased whatever particular assets that company had that they wanted for pennies on the dollar. This oil company just walked away. But then the new company that took over, they lasted maybe 2 years. When those companies start to go belly up, you really don't receive any communication from them back or forth, and we just don't get paid. And any monitoring would fall on the landowner. The liability falls back on the taxpayer.
The lake's over here.
We did have at one time, I could smell rotten eggs. That was when that company was in receivership. So what we did was we phoned the Alberta Environment Protection Agency, and they sent a fellow out to look at it. He was there within a day. I kind of stipulated when I phoned that site is right across the road from a subdivision.
Reclamation, to me, I believe the legal sense is the land has to be restored to its natural state. But the cost of reclaiming that thing and doing it's probably going to be $1 million. So on the balance sheet, it's cheaper just to keep paying the rent.
When the wells were capped, they left all the infrastructure there, like the donkeys and everything were there. All they simply did was take all the pipe and everything out of the hole, and then they poured a concrete plug in on the top of it down 20 feet or 30 feet or whatever, and that's just how it was left. And so we would have had to go over and cow-proof it.
Some of the stuff that's left, like that plastic tank there, that's from the original well site. It's been sitting there for 20 years.
Like I said, we've had a fairly positive experience with oil companies. The farm has fed 4 generations of people. Yeah, we're hoping the situation continues and improves so that it can feed a 5th generation.
We worked off the farm to support the farming operation. In the end, we pretty much worked until we retired from farming. We didn't achieve independence, I guess, that way. Because those companies have gone kind of belly up, we've probably seen more of the negative part of it than some other people.
I wish the government would have had more foresight 70 years ago to set up the controls and the regulation to make sure that these sites were reclaimed. Because it doesn't make sense to have an oil well abandoned or inactive for 20 years. It effectively sterilizes the land. It increases the chances of some kind of contamination every year it sits there not being farmed.